Hey, what's up you guys? It's Anastasia and today I'm here with Paulina. I think you guys have met her already.
Kind of, a little bit.
I feel like you guys have, at least I've definitely made videos. If you hear Abby, she's over on the side as well. I'm not gonna lie, I'm blasted. I am, but we are here to finally tell the palm story that I made the TikTok on. You guys kept asking what was going on. So we have tea brewing. I need that because I have cotton mouth. We're gonna go get some lunch later and then, I don't know, go thrifting. So we're here to tell the story. Do you have any, I don't know, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Paulina. I don't really know how to start.
Oh my God. I guess if we're jumping into it. Oh no, because I feel like I met Paulina, basically kind of met you the day that all of this happened.
Oh my God.
Which was, do we even remember what month?
I'm pretty sure that was still August. Yeah, that was the beginning of August.
That feels like a year and a half ago. Quarantine has been weird. So I guess I met her in the middle of August. What were we doing?
We had hung out a few times. I met you like a year prior at the Succulent Cafe. And then we all hung out that day doing something beforehand. I can't remember what it was, but I mentioned that something kind of was going on.
I can't remember at all. You were there. What were we doing when I met Paulina that day that we hung out? But did we go to the beach?
We might have.
I have no idea. It was like we were doing something completely unrelated. I wasn't even talking about witchcraft or whatever. I think it just came up. And she was like, oh.
Oh, I had a sleep paralysis demon. Oh,
I forgot about that. That's how this started. Yeah, she was talking about sleep paralysis demon, and I was like, oh, well, let me hear more about it. I'll do a reading. Especially because I was like, the way she was describing it, it didn't sound like sleep paralysis, and I was just like, that doesn't sound like that. But that sounds like something we can cleanse away and just be like, get the hell out of here. And then the more that I heard about it, I was like, that's not what this sounds like at all. At all.
It just kept getting worse and worse too. It would hover over me and make the sound of a fire alarm in my ears while hovering 10 feet tall, floor to ceiling, crouching over my bed. It was mortifying.
Disgust.
Not fun, don't recommend.
No, literally, I think you guessed over that really quickly. She said that it would be in her ears making the sound, you know, like fire alarms when they go off, that loud noise in her ears,
it was awful.
Non-stop. And I was just like, that's not
I had sleep paralysis last night.
Ew.
But I didn't see a demon, but I did see Noah, the trash can over his head, a big metal one who's just standing in the corner in the hallway, and I was like,
ew.
I couldn't, I was trying to say his name. I was like, what are you doing? I'm like, sleep paralysis.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's
There's no demons this time.
No, that's more on that alley of sleep paralysis than the weird. Oh, so I think we were whatever, we were at the beach or doing whatever we were doing, hanging out. And she was telling me about that, but then for some reason she was like, oh, I want your love oil, because Abby was gassing it up. She was like, oh my God.
What had happened is Abby told me about it prior, and then we were at the beach, and this bitch is just standing there being beautiful and flawless. And this man stops his car in the middle of the road, you, can I take a picture of you? And all these men are around her taking photos. I'm like, I will take a vial of that.
She's like, I need that oil.
It's done wonders for me since though.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, we can make that today, because I think it was Friday. I was like, it's a day for Venus, it's a perfect day for attraction and stuff. So come over after the beach, I did a quick divination. It was so interesting because I was like, okay, well, I'll do a protection for you really quick. We'll have to do a cleansing at your house at another date or whatever, and we'll just make the love oil. And I was making the love oil off of the spell that I make and sell for everyone, and then I was just gonna change it a little bit and tweak it for her, just add a couple extra things. And when I was doing the divination before to make sure the spell work was gonna be good, it was so interesting because everything was being dodged. Every question, I don't even remember really what we would have asked, how is it gonna manifest?
And it was just not answering the question.
No.
We were still pulling the same 6 cards.
Yeah, it was the same, and I wish that I had pictures of it now, because I didn't even think, well, if we knew that this was gonna happen, we would have all this documented, but no. It wasn't bad cards though. It wasn't me, it wasn't ancestors telling me not to do it, but it definitely was just very weird. They were dodging the question. It was just very weird.
And then you said that the spell alone was only gonna take 30 to 40
Yeah, I was like, this is gonna be quick. I'm like, this is based off of, I said, the oil that I already had. I just wanted to kind of enchant it more personally for her. So I had her do sigil work. While she was doing the sigil work, I was doing the protection work. I put a little protection jar for her together. And this would have probably been max, if we were taking our time and chit-chatting 45 minutes to an hour. And it was,
I think we started at 7, and then when we looked back up, it was
10:30 or something.
Almost 11.
Yeah, it was late as fuck.
And it felt like every single time like we would blink, it would take so long, and like there was like a haze.
Well,
we didn't
she
smoke.
felt that. The thing is, like, I didn't know. I was like chilling. I totally didn't. I lost time, but I didn't feel weird. I was like just vibing. So we did leave out that like probably like 15 minutes into the spell or the ritual, I guess. I look up and I see this bird, and I know that this is not any of my omens at all. Like any of them. It would be a crow. It would be bees for Aphrodite, or like my ancestors. That would just be it, or Luna. And there was this weird yellow bird,
and it was so odd because there's so many crows in this area that you would never expect to see such a dainty little thing like that.
And it was one of my crows is like tree, and you guys know, just like normally outside of like metaphysically, crows are very like territorial. So if it's their tree with their nest, like they will protect it. And there was this other bird in it just like chilling. Very weird.
It like stops and it's like looking right at us, and we're just kind of like, okay, like maybe it's like my ancestors. And this was before we found out anything else. And
that's part of the story I forgot. Oh my god, this goes really kind of deep. I'm fucking yelling.
It gets worse. And so we're just kind of like ignore it. We don't really think much of it. And so we keep doing this spell work, and like I feel like time keeps going on, and I'm just like, what's going on? But I didn't want to look at my phone to like ruin anything. So we get that done and over with, and she puts the bay leaf ashes in my hand as like one of the last steps of the spell. So one of the last bits of the spell that I was like, well, the ritual that I was trying to get together is after she did her sigil, we activated it, and then I had her manifest with crystals, and once they landed with the bay leaf, what she wanted in the oil to bring, like, you know, to bring to her. Sorry, I'm like still. No, you're good.
And then the last bit of that is to blow it out in the wind. And she was like joking because it was a love oil, like an attraction oil. She was like joking about when she was holding the, after we burnt the bay leaves, she had the ash in her hand and was gonna throw it away. She was like joking, like, what did you say?
I said, I'm sorry, I'm not like dating a doctor or dating the type of person that you want, because I'm Iranian.
But it was like sarcastic.
Yeah, it was sarcastic, but like in the Iranian culture, they put a lot of pressure on you to like marry someone who has like a great education, that's like a doctor or lawyer, which I can see like all parents want the best for their kids, but they're very hard on it, and they're hard. Like everyone in my family on my dad's side is doctors, and if you're not, they just basically look down on you. But I was just kind of joking about it, and I was like, sorry, I'm not dating a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. And I blow the bay leaf ash into the wind, and then she goes like, oh, step inside, like feel the energy shift, like you'll probably feel so much better. And I was like, okay.
But for some reason I like, and like, mind you, I don't do rituals a lot with friends or random people or whatever, but I was like, this is so casual, like it's fun. And I had like the ritual space set up with crystals and plants visually on my balcony at my old apartment, so she could see everything. And then I casted the circle. Everything was protected, everything was fine. But for some reason I was just like, walk into my apartment, which was heavily warded and protected at the time. It was, well, not that this one's not, but like that one had so much more. I feel like I'm still like building my layers. Like, don't try Nate, but like still, you know, like I lived there for 2 years, so it was like stacked on stacked on stacked, like all this extra shit. So I was like, step inside and tell me if you feel like an energy shift. And
at first I kind of did. I was like, yeah, sure, like feels great, feels nice, weather's wonderful, whatever. And I go to the kitchen to wash my hands because my hands are covered in ashes.
And I'm breaking down the all, like it's all chill, everything's done. I'm breaking down the like ritual space.
And for whatever reason, like I wanted to just look at my hands, which I don't know why I would, but I look and there's a word on there and I couldn't make out what it said. It was like upside down and backwards.
It was transcribed. Andrew, can you please put like a little still of the TikTok? Or I know we have visuals or pictures. It was like literally almost like it looked etched. There was very clear, all uppercase letters, words in her hand.
And I don't write like that. Like my hand
at all
scribble like chicken scratch.
And neither was like, it was nowhere close to mine. And I know sometimes, and you guys have seen it in TikTok, when I talk to my ancestors, it's a different handwriting, like in my book, and you guys have seen it. So it was neither of those, and like nowhere, and it was both like, there was like upside down letters and it's like flipped reverse. And we just immediately were like,
like, staring at it, and I'm like, what's
my God.
I'm like panicking, my heart's racing. She's telling
I was just like, what the heck? Literally I was like, we were protected, my circle was cast, my ancestors were called in. Like I didn't call them Oregon men, but I'm like, what's going on? And
then I look at the mirror and I raise my hand up to it.
Because we were trying to figure out what it said.
Yeah, because I'm like, maybe I can read it through the mirror. I could. And that's when my heart sank, and we were looking, and it says in all capital letters the word hate. And so I'm stumbling. I'm like panicking. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, because she was about to go home. Like she was like 10:30 or no, at this point it was almost like 11 or something.
Almost midnight.
Yeah, because we were breaking down stuff. Yeah, and it was like, and it said hate, and I was like, oh my, because never in my practice has something like that happened. Like normally it would come out in divination and then it's like, no, don't do this, like whatever. But like after we did that, but I was like, what? Like, because I know that my protection hit, and I was like, well, did they hate that? Like that's weird. What's that about? And I was like asking my ancestors, I was like trying to ask what's going on, and I was getting the same 6 cards that we were getting before that was just like circumventing everything, but he was like talking about her life in general.
Yeah,
like very broadly. It was like, oh, things will be rough for a little bit, but you will move, you're gonna move out, like all the things that happened, but it was like, so that was my ancestors like telling me. But we were asking specifically because I like to connect, like if I can, my ancestors can go to theirs, like that's how they talk. So it was, we come to find out, I'm getting like pissed because Paulina's like scared. I have her in a circle of black tourmaline and salt because she was worried, and I was like, I got you, girl, like we're gonna be okay. Like, so I'm just pissed at this point. And then I'm like, ancestors, come the fuck through, like what the fuck is going on? I'm literally like pissed. And then come to find out,
you pulled like the justice card at first.
Yes, I was like, what the? Yeah, that's what was popping out when I was like yelling, and I mean yelling, and not at my ancestors.
Your ancestors.
Yeah, but I was kind of like, you guys need to come through because there's some shady stuff happening. No one's telling me, and I'm not happy, and this is my home, so what's going on? And like as I was going off, and not yelling at my ancestors, but you guys kind of understand I had an attitude, the justice card flew out, and I was like,
what do you mean justice?
Oh, and you know what? Who else? Who helped us crack the code?
Tarot
and Hex. Hex helped me with my trickster spirit. This is just like, this is where a lots of years of practice comes in, because we would never think this, because come to find out, the spirit that was coming through that was very fucking mad was her ancestors.
Just about all of them too, which is my luck, of course. And it makes sense because I grew up in a very traditional Middle Eastern household, and also my mom's side, because she's from Sinaloa, they're very Catholic and traditional, and I'm not, clearly. But yeah, none of them were really happy on the other end, and come to find out, they were upset at me for
the love, like because of the person and or people she would like to date, because they wouldn't necessarily always be doctors or just lawyers or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were mad, not at the protection or whatever, like they were fine about that, but they were literally just mad about the love thing, and they were being petty.
They were so petty. They were being so rude. And I've been struggling with anxiety for like most of my life too. Like it was so chronic, like I felt like I had hundreds of hands on my back and people just hovering over me. And then after we had you do your protection, and then I had tarot do the protection.
Yeah, well, the cleansing and banishing.
Yeah,
you said
all of it. I was like, just scrub me clean.
Scrub me at my ancestors so they can't look at me anymore and inflict. Because that's the thing, sometimes if they have like negative feelings on your life and want to block your blessings, you need to block them from your life. So. And
also because I wasn't going like in my own life path, I wasn't following theirs, because I, you know, work in like the entertainment industry, not like of anything crazy, like a model. And they just weren't happy with me. But once we had all that done, the next morning I wake up after all of the scrubbing and the cleansing has been done.
Oh my god, and your plants.
Oh my god, my plants were dying. I have so many of them, and they're always thriving and healthy, and they were just like rotting. I did not understand what was going on.
Quickly, like she would wait. So you said you'd wake up and like how many leaves?
10 leaves would be turning yellow, or like 20 the next day. Yeah, and like there was no reason for them to do that. I pop them, I take care of them. They had wonderful bright lighting. And yeah, and so basically like once everything was done, I woke up and I felt like relief for the first time in like my entire life, or since I can remember.
Disgust.
Like even now I'm like, yeah, I don't even have close to that as anxiety as I used to.
Right.
Like not even a smidge close.
And it's like, why is it gotta be the ancestors? Why?
You should see them in my real day-to-day life, like my actual family members that are still present with me. Like they are controlling and just mean. I love them to death because they're family, and like no hate or shade.
They're the same in the afterlife.
They're the same in the afterlife. Like they just don't change. They are happy to be like, no, we're gonna stop this, and now they physically can or spiritually can, they will, and they didn't care. But they were definitely pissed. They weren't happy about it.
Well, yeah, no, they really weren't. So, well, oops.
Oopsies. But
that's the story.
Once you cut your toxic spiritual family out of your life.
Yeah, literally. Snip, snip, bye.
And I'll do it again.
Oh yeah, seriously. Literally. You come back, we'll just fight it all over again. And I swear to you, if you guys watch my TikToks, I swear that bird that Luna caught was one of the same, if not the same bird.
It was. I remember
I'm not kidding you.
That. I was like,
that looks like the same bird. And it wouldn't be, at the time, I was like, I was first off so shook that she dropped, here she comes, a freaking bird at my feet inside the house. She was just like, boop, here it is. And it was still alive, like untouched. And then I was like, well, after we did the whole 45 minutes of screaming, trying to get it back outside and all of that, I was like, that bird was like that really pretty yellow bird.
Yeah.
And it would make
100%.
sense that Luna caught it being like, look who's trying to come in. Through your awards. Pop, got it.
Got him.
Got it. Oh, I love you, Luna. What the fuck? Good girl.
Such a such a baby. But
yeah, so
that's that one. God, that was such a crazy, like,
oh god, that was stressful.
Immediately after, because I had been trying to move out and like live on my own, and there were just consistently things just coming in the way and blocking it.
Yeah.
And within days after that happened, I was able to pack my bag and get out of my parents' house.
You had a new apartment, you got all approved and shit.
It was all
yeah, literally.
Because I had been looking for apartments for months prior, and I was getting rejected and denied. I have good credit.
You got like catfished, apartment catfished.
Oh my god. They were like, oh yeah, it's this beautiful space, and I walked in, I'm like,
what is this? It's a dungeon.
It was horrible, and it was just literally one thing after another, especially with trying to move out. And I had moved to Toronto for a little bit, and then COVID happened, and I feel like, you know, that kind of
ruined everything.
But it was just one thing after another, and so afterwards I was finally able to start my life like going again, and I can make decisions and they actually go through. Like I was always so used to doing things, and like, because with modeling, like I'd book a job and then the client would cancel. And I'm like, why is this happening? And now like
that's your whole, yeah, because your ancestors didn't want you to model. And they were like, let's not have this blessing go through.
But now,
rude.
Booked and busy.
Period, bitch. So yeah, I mean, check on your ancestors.
Make sure, just ask for the ones that have the same moral standing as you.
Yeah, and that want to see you actually shine and have your blessings.
Yeah. We don't need to deal with any fucked up people.
Okay, love you. See you guys.
Bye.
See you guys next week.